You sit down to meditate. 5 minutes in, you are planning dinner. 10 minutes in, you remember an email you forgot to send. 15 minutes pass, and you realize you completely forgot you were supposed to be meditating. Sound familiar? You are not failing at meditation. You simply lack a roadmap. John Yates, known as Culadasa, spent over 40 years as a meditation master and decades as a neuroscience professor. In The Mind Illuminated, he combines 2,500 years of Buddhist wisdom with cutting-edge brain science to create the most comprehensive meditation manual ever written. This is not vague advice to sit and breathe. This is a precise 10-stage system that takes you from complete beginner to deep meditative absorption and awakening. Each stage has specific goals, predictable obstacles, and exact techniques to overcome them. Culadasa reveals a revolutionary model of how the mind actually works, introducing concepts like attention versus peripheral awareness, the subminds model, and the mechanics of consciousness itself. Whether you are struggling with your first sits or seeking to deepen years of practice, this book provides the missing map. Let us explore this transformative journey through the 10 stages of meditation mastery. Understanding how your mind actually works. Before diving into stages, Culadasa introduces a model that changes everything. Your mind is not a single unified thing. It is a collection of many subminds, each with its own agenda. Think of your mind as a committee where everyone is talking at once. One submind wants to focus on your breath. Another wants to check your phone. Another is worried about tomorrow. Another is replaying yesterday. These subminds compete for control of consciousness. Consciousness itself has two distinct modes, attention and peripheral awareness. Attention is like a spotlight, focusing intensely on one thing while excluding everything else. You use attention to read these words right now. Peripheral awareness is like floodlights, taking in the entire context without focusing on details. Right now, peripheral awareness knows you are sitting, knows sounds around you, knows your general mood, all without you attending to any of it specifically. Most meditation instructions confuse these. They tell you to concentrate, which sounds like narrowing attention until nothing else exists. But Culadasa reveals this is precisely wrong. Effective meditation requires both stable attention on your meditation object and strong peripheral awareness of everything else. This combination is what he calls mindfulness. When attention is stable but peripheral awareness fades, you get dull and drowsy. When peripheral awareness is strong but attention wanders, you get distracted. True progress requires developing both simultaneously. Neuroscientist Dr. Amishi Jha from the University of Miami studies attention in high-stress professions like military and firefighters. Her research shows that attention is trainable through meditation, but most people train it incorrectly. They force concentration, which creates mental fatigue and resistance. The Mind Illuminated's approach trains attention through conscious intention, not force. You set intentions, then let unconscious processes carry them out. This matches exactly what neuroscience reveals about how the brain learns. Stage 1. Establishing a practice. The first stage is deceptively simple. Show up consistently. The goal is developing a regular daily practice. Obstacles include resistance, procrastination, fatigue, impatience, boredom, and lack of motivation. These are not character flaws. They are predictable challenges that every meditator faces. Culadasa emphasizes that intentions are key. You cannot control what your mind does directly. You cannot willpower your way out of distraction, but you can set clear intentions. Intend to sit every day at the same time. Intend to engage wholeheartedly with the practice rather than going through motions. Intend to return gently to the breath when you notice your mind has wandered. These intentions, repeated consistently, gradually reprogram unconscious mental processes. A lawyer named Michael hated meditation. Every time he sat, his mind exploded with legal cases, deadlines, arguments. He felt more stressed afterward than before. His teacher introduced him to the mind illuminated. Michael learned he was trying to force his mind quiet, which only created more resistance. When he shifted to simply setting intentions and observing what happened without judgment, everything changed. Within 2 weeks, he could sit for 20 minutes. Within 2 months, meditation became the highlight of his day. The mastery of stage 1 is simple: never missing a daily practice session, not meditating perfectly, not achieving any particular state, just showing up. This consistency matters more than anything else because it trains the mind system to recognize meditation as important. Stage 2. Interrupted attention and overcoming mind wandering. Once you establish consistency, the next challenge appears. Your mind wanders constantly. In stage 2, you have moments of attention on the breath, but these are frequently interrupted by mind wandering. You forget you are supposed to be meditating. Minutes pass before you suddenly remember with an aha moment. The goal here is shortening the periods of mind wandering. The obstacle is forgetting. The key skill Culadasa teaches is celebrating the aha moment. When you suddenly realize you have been lost in thought, most people feel frustrated or defeated. This is precisely wrong. That moment of recognizing mind wandering is a moment of introspective awareness, which is exactly what you are trying to cultivate. Culadasa instructs, appreciate and rejoice in that moment. Feel happy about it. This positive reinforcement trains your mind to generate more moments of introspective awareness. He also introduces a powerful technique, following the breath. Most instructions say, watch the breath, which is vague. Culadasa specifies, notice the exact beginning of the in-breath. Follow it through its entire duration. Notice the pause. Notice the exact beginning of the out-breath. Follow it completely. Notice the next pause. This continuous tracking gives attention something to do, making mind wandering less likely. Research by Dr. Wendy Hassenkamp at Emory University used brain imaging to study exactly what happens during meditation. She identified 4 distinct phases: mind wandering, awareness of mind wandering, shifting attention back, and sustained attention. Each involves different brain networks. The mind illuminated's emphasis on rewarding the awareness moment directly targets the brain network that catches mind wandering, strengthening it through positive reinforcement. Stage 3. Extended attention and overcoming forgetting. Stage 3 marks real progress. Mind wandering still happens, but you catch it before you completely forget the meditation object. Attention remains on the breath for longer stretches. However, new obstacles emerge: gross distraction and strong dullness. Gross distraction means your attention stays mostly on the breath, but loud thoughts, emotions, or physical sensations constantly pull at the edges. Strong dullness means you feel drowsy. Attention becomes less sharp, and you might even nod off. The goal is overcoming forgetting completely while developing continuous introspective awareness. Culadasa introduces the key technique of connecting. Instead of treating each breath as isolated, you compare them. Is this breath longer or shorter than the last? Is the pause between breaths getting longer? Is your breathing speeding up or slowing down? This comparison requires memory and attention together, which strengthens both and makes forgetting nearly impossible. He also teaches labeling distractions the moment you notice them: thought, planning, remembering, itching, pain. Use neutral labels without engaging with the content. This trains peripheral awareness to monitor for distractions before they capture attention. You begin noticing distractions arising before they become problems. A teacher named Sarah struggled at stage 3 for months. Intrusive thoughts about her students' problems constantly disrupted her meditation. She felt guilty for not thinking about them, which made meditating harder. Culadasa's instruction to label without engaging changed everything. Worrying, feeling guilty, planning each. Label acknowledged the thought without feeding it. Within weeks, these thoughts still arose, but stop disrupting her attention. Stage 4. Continuous attention and overcoming gross distraction and strong dullness. Stage 4 is where meditation starts feeling different. You can now keep attention continuously on the breath, but gross distractions and strong dullness remain persistent obstacles. Something might be happening at the edges of awareness that could pull attention away at any moment. Or you might feel pleasantly comfortable, but realize your perception of the breath has dulled significantly. The goal is subduing gross distraction and strong dullness so they no longer disrupt your meditation. The key technique is developing continuous introspective awareness. This means a part of your mind constantly monitors. Is my attention still on the breath? Is my perception clear or dull? Are any distractions growing stronger? Here is where the attention and awareness distinction becomes crucial. You cannot use attention to watch attention. Oh, that would be like using your eye to look at itself. But you can use peripheral awareness to monitor attention. This metacognitive, introspective awareness becomes your most important skill. Culadasa provides detailed instructions for strengthening it through body scanning and noting techniques. Neuroscientist Dr. Richard Davidson from the University of Wisconsin has shown through decades of research that expert meditators have dramatically enhanced metacognitive awareness. Their brains show increased activity in regions associated with monitoring mental states. The mind-illuminated Stage 4 techniques specifically target these brain regions, explaining why practitioners progress faster with this system than with vaguer instructions. Stage 5. Overcoming subtle dullness and increasing mindfulness power. This stage confronts perhaps the sneakiest obstacle: subtle dullness. Unlike strong dullness where you feel drowsy, subtle dullness feels pleasant and comfortable. You think you are meditating well. Your attention stays on the breath. But if you examine closely, the vividness and clarity of perception have declined. Both extrospective and introspective awareness have faded. You are in a fog without realizing it. The goal is overcoming subtle dullness and increasing the power of mindfulness. Culadasa teaches that the antidote is a strong intention to perceive clearly in every moment of consciousness. Not effort, not straining, but clear intention. He provides techniques like body scanning for breath-related sensations throughout the entire body, which combats dullness by increasing the amount of information consciousness must process. He also introduces the concept of moments of consciousness. Consciousness is not continuous. It is a rapid series of discrete moments like frames in a film. Non-perceiving moments occur between perceiving moments. The more non-perceiving moments, the duller you feel. Subtle dullness is simply a higher ratio of non-perceiving moments. The solution is intending to perceive vividly, which increases the proportion of perceiving moments. An engineer named David thought he had mastered meditation. He could sit for an hour with attention mostly on the breath, feeling calm and peaceful. Then he encountered Stage 5 in the mind illuminated and realized he had been meditating in subtle dullness for months. When he applied the techniques to increase perception clarity, his meditation transformed. Colors seemed brighter when he opened his eyes. Sounds became more distinct. He had been living in a fog without knowing it. Stage 6. Subduing subtle distraction. With subtle dullness conquered, a new challenge appears. Your attention remains on the breath. Mindfulness is strong. But if you examine carefully, subtle distractions constantly flicker at the periphery. A quiet thought here, a faint sensation there. None captures attention, but they drain energy that could go toward deeper focus. The goal is subduing subtle distractions entirely, achieving exclusive attention where the breath dominates consciousness so completely that nothing else competes. The technique is expanding your attention to include the breath throughout the entire body simultaneously. This might sound impossible, but Culadasa explains that attention can include multiple aspects of a single meditation object at once. You attend to breath sensations at the nose while maintaining awareness of breath-related sensations everywhere: abdomen, chest, shoulders, even fingertips. Paradoxically, expanding attention in this way leaves no room for distractions. It fills consciousness with breath-related sensations so completely that subtle distractions have nowhere to intrude. This stage also reveals a profound shift. As different subminds unify around the common intention to focus on breath, fewer dissenting subminds project distractions into awareness. This process is called pacification. Subminds that previously wanted to think about lunch or solve problems or replay conversations begin agreeing with the conscious intention to meditate. The mind system starts functioning as a unified whole instead of a feuding committee. Stage 7. Exclusive attention and unification of mind. Stage 7 brings effortlessness. Up to now, meditation required vigilance and effort. You had to guard against dullness, correct for distraction, maintain intention. In Stage 7, you can let go of effort. Attention stays exclusively on the breath, without any need to guard or correct. Mindfulness remains strong automatically. This is the first stage characterized by mind pacification. The goal is effortless, exclusive attention and mindfulness. The obstacle is subtle yet important. You must recognize when the time is right to let go. Let go too early and distraction or dullness returns. Hold on too long and you prevent the unification of mind that brings real transformation. Culadasa teaches a simple test. Drop all vigilance and effort. If exclusive attention continues and mindfulness remains strong, you have arrived. If not, keep making gentle effort. Something remarkable happens in Stage 7. Meditative joy begins arising spontaneously. Not just pleasant feelings, but painti, a Pali term meaning rapture or ecstasy. This joy comes in waves, sometimes mild tingling, sometimes powerful waves of bliss. It is not the goal, but it is an inevitable byproduct of mind unification. All those subminds that previously competed are now working together, creating a sense of harmony and joy. A therapist named Lisa reached Stage 7 after a year of daily practice. The first time meditative joy arose, she thought something was wrong. Energy coursed through her body. She felt euphoric, almost giddy. She opened her eyes, thinking she needed to stop. Then she remembered Culadasa's description of painti. This was normal, even desirable. She closed her eyes and let the joy move through her. It lasted several minutes, then settled into a warm glow that remained for hours after meditation. Stage 8. Mental pliancy and pacifying the senses. Stage 8 intensifies everything from Stage 7. Meditative joy matures and stabilizes. The mental pliancy develops, meaning your mind becomes extraordinarily flexible and responsive. You can direct attention anywhere with ease. Mental objects arise and pass away effortlessly. More profoundly, the senses begin pacifying. Pacification of bodily senses means experiencing physical sensations differently during meditation. Normal bodily sensations fade. What replaces them feels like perfect stillness accompanied by wonderful comfort and pleasure that pervades the entire body. Many meditators describe feeling like they have no body at all, or like their body has become light as air. Visual sense pacification brings inner illumination. Even with eyes closed, you might experience light, sometimes subtle, sometimes brilliant. This is not imagination. It is a real phenomenon that occurs when visual subminds unify. Culadasa explains, this is the brain's visual system generating coherent signals in the absence of external input. Auditory pacification replaces normal sounds with something like white noise. Internal dialogue quiets. The constant mental chatter that has accompanied you your entire life simply stops. What remains is vast, open, silent awareness. Dr. Judson Brewer from Brown University studies the neuroscience of advanced meditation states. His research shows that the default mode network, the brain region responsible for self-referential thinking and mind-wandering, dramatically quiets in experienced meditators. Stage 8 pacification corresponds precisely to this quieting. the subminds that generate constant mental activity have unified, reducing the need for that activity. Stage 9. Mental and physical pliancy and calming the intensity of meditative joy. The joy that arose in stages 7 and 8 can become overwhelming in stage 9. It manifests not just mentally, but physically. Powerful, energetic sensations move through the body. Some meditators experience involuntary movements, kriyas in yogic traditions. The joy can be so intense it disrupts meditation, pulling attention away from the breath. The goal is calming this intensity, so joy becomes a stable background presence rather than a distraction. Physical pliancy develops fully, meaning the body feels extraordinarily comfortable in meditation. You can sit for hours without discomfort, but more importantly, profound insights begin arising spontaneously. These are not intellectual insights. They are direct perceptions of the nature of reality. You begin observing that all objects of consciousness are constructs of the mind. The breath you have been attending to is not the breath itself, but a mental representation constructed from sensory data. Every sight, sound, thought, and sensation is a fabrication. This leads to the core Buddhist insight of emptiness or no self. What you have been calling I is just another mental construct assembled from memories, sensations, and thoughts moment by moment. There is no solid, permanent self-directing experience. There is only consciousness arising and passing away, constructing reality instant by instant. A scientist named Robert reached stage 9 after 2 years of practice. One evening during meditation, he observed a thought arising, not the content of the thought, but the actual moment of its arising. He saw how his mind constructed it from bits of memory, current sensations, and unconscious processes. The thought appeared in consciousness as a finished product, but he witnessed the construction process. In that moment, he understood viscerally that everything in his experience was similarly constructed. Nothing was as solid or real as he had always assumed. This realization brought both terror and liberation. Stage 10. Tranquility and equanimity. Stage 10 is complete unification of mind. All subminds work together in perfect harmony. Mental pliancy is total. Physical pliancy is effortless. Meditative joy has matured into a stable, profound sense of tranquility and equanimity that persists not just during meditation, but throughout daily life. Equanimity does not mean indifference. It means remaining balanced and unshaken, regardless of circumstances. Pleasant experiences arise without clinging. Unpleasant experiences arise without aversion. The mind observes everything with clarity and acceptance. Culadasa describes this as the still point, a quality of stillness at the core of every moment of experience. Meditators at stage 10 often experience what Culadasa calls the witness, the sense of a pure, unmoved observer watching all experience without being affected by it. He encourages practitioners to question this witness directly. Who is watching? What is experiencing? These questions can lead to the deepest insights and eventual awakening. Awakening in Culadasa's model is a cognitive event. It is a series of profound insights that permanently transform how you experience reality. These insights reveal directly the impermanent, selfless, and constructed nature of all experience. Awakening is not about achieving special states. It is about seeing through the illusion of self and recognizing the true nature of consciousness itself. Research by Dr. Zoran Josipovic at New York University examines brain activity during states of awakening. He finds that meditators report experiencing pure awareness without content. And brain scans show a unique pattern where areas normally anti-correlated active together. The Mind Illuminates model of awakening aligns perfectly with this neuroscience, showing how ancient wisdom and modern science converge. Conclusion: John Yates passed away in 2021, but his gift to the world lives on. The Mind Illuminated is not just a meditation manual. It is a complete map of consciousness transformation. From your first stumbling attempts to sit still, through the challenges of distraction and dullness, past the arising of joy and the pacification of senses, all the way to the profound insights that lead to awakening. Every step is laid out with scientific precision and compassionate clarity. This book succeeds where countless others fail because it gives you exact techniques for your current stage. You are not left wondering whether you are doing it right. The stages provide clear milestones. You know where you are. You know what comes next. You know what obstacles to expect and exactly how to overcome them. This is meditation finally made systematic, accessible, and effective. Your challenge begins now. Establish your practice. Sit daily, even if only for 10 minutes. Follow the stages in order. Do not skip ahead. Do not force anything. Simply set clear intentions, follow the techniques, and trust the process. Your mind will unify. Joy will arise. Insights will dawn. Awakening becomes not just possible, but likely, given enough practice. Thank you for watching. If this guide resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel for more transformative book summaries on meditation, psychology, neuroscience, and personal growth. We dive deep into the books that actually change lives. Share this with anyone seeking to understand meditation beyond vague platitudes. The Mind Illuminated is the roadmap we have all been searching for. Begin your journey today.